After school in the 1970s and 1980s meant something sacred for black kids across America. The moment that final bell rang, it was a race against time, through hallways, down streets, past corner stores, to get home before your favorite show started. These weren't just television programs. They were cultural touchstones that reflected black life, humor, and dignity during an era when representation mattered more than ever. While mainstream networks often overlooked black audiences, certain shows became appointment viewing that brought families together, sparked conversations, and created shared memories across generations. But what made these shows so urgent that kids would sprint home, homeward bouncing in backpacks, just to catch the opening credits? Here are 20 TV shows that defined after-school viewing for black kids who grew up during television's most transformative decades. 1. The Jeffersons. George and Louise Jefferson moving on up to that deluxe apartment in the sky wasn't just a catchy theme song. It was a statement of black achievement that resonated through living rooms across America. Black kids would rush home to catch this groundbreaking sitcom that showed a successful black family living unapologetically well. George's dry cleaning empire proved that black entrepreneurship was real and attainable, while Weezy's grace and wisdom provided a model of black womanhood that commanded respect without apology. The show tackled race relations with sharp wit through the dynamic between George and Tom Willis, the white husband of their daughter's friend. These conversations happened in black households every day, but seeing them play out on network television felt revolutionary. Kids absorbed lessons about pride, success, and standing your ground while their parents nodded knowingly at jokes that cut deeper than surface humor suggested. The Jeffersons' high-rise apartment became a symbol that black families could aspire to and achieve anything, beyond the laughs. This show demonstrated that black stories deserved primetime attention. Florence the maid's sharp comebacks, Lionel's quiet intelligence, and Mother Jefferson's traditional values created a full ecosystem of black experience. When that theme song started, black kids knew they were about to see themselves reflected with dignity, complexity, and humor that honored rather than mocked their communities. 2. Good Times. Die no might have been JJ's catchphrase. But Good Times was so much deeper than comic relief. Set in a Chicago housing project, this show gave voice to the reality many black families lived, struggling to make ends meet while maintaining dignity, love, and hope. Kids would race home to watch the Evans family navigate poverty with grace, showing that financial struggle didn't diminish a family's worth or strength. James Evans' determination to provide, Florida's unwavering faith, and Thelma's beauty and intelligence painted a picture of black family life that felt authentic to millions of viewers. The show didn't shy away from hard truths. Episodes dealt with gang violence, systemic racism, unemployment, and the constant hustle required to survive in America's inner cities. Yet through it all, the Evans family loved each other fiercely. Black kids saw their own apartments, their own struggles, their own parents' sacrifices reflected on screen. When James died, black households across America mourned with Florida, understanding that tragedy was never far from families living on the economic margins. What made this show essential viewing was its refusal to make poverty a joke or a moral failing. The Evans family represented millions of black families doing their best with limited resources, teaching children that dignity isn't determined by wealth. Kids absorbed lessons about resilience, family bonds, and the strength it takes to maintain hope when the system seems designed to break you. 3. What's Happening? Raj, Dwayne, and Rerun became the brothers black kids wish they had. Set in Los Angeles, this show captured the everyday adventures of 3 black teenagers navigating high school, friendship, and growing up in an urban neighborhood. Kids would bolt home to catch their antics at Rob's place, the diner where the trio spent countless hours eating burgers, plotting schemes, and learning life lessons from Shirley, the sharp-tongued waitress who never let them get away with nonsense. The show portrayed black teenage life without the heavy drama that often defined black narratives. These were regular kids with regular problems, crushes, homework, part-time jobs, and the occasional get-rich-quick scheme that always backfired. Raj's intelligence wasn't portrayed as acting white. Rerun's size became a source of humor without ridicule. and Dwayne's smooth-talking ways reminded kids of their own friends who thought they were cooler than they actually were. What resonated most was the authentic friendship between the three boys. Black kids saw themselves in these characters who supported each other through failures and celebrated each other's victories. The show validated that black teenage life wasn't just about surviving the hood. It was about friendship, dreams, and the universal experience of figuring out who you want to become. For The Cosby Show. When The Cosby Show premiered in 1984, it revolutionized what black families could be on television. Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable and attorney Claire Huxtable represented black excellence in a way that felt both aspirational and attainable. Their Brooklyn brownstone became a second home for black kids who rushed through their homework to watch this upper-middle-class black family navigate parenting, careers, and life with humor and intelligence. Cliff's colorful sweaters, Claire's power suits, and the kids' relatable struggles created a world where black success was normal, not exceptional. The show proved that black families could carry a network sitcom without relying on poverty narratives or racial trauma. Each episode delivered life lessons wrapped in genuine humor. Theo learning about economic reality through Monopoly money, Vanessa getting caught at a concert she wasn't supposed to attend, Rudy being unapologetically adorable and confident. Black parents appreciated seeing their own parenting styles reflected, while kids saw a family that looked like theirs living well and loving deeply. Historically black colleges and universities got primetime attention through Denise's journey to Hillman College, while jazz legends and black artists regularly appeared, exposing young viewers to their cultural heritage. The show didn't ignore race. It wove blackness into every fabric of the family's life naturally and proudly. For black kids watching, the Huxtables weren't just entertainment. They were proof that black families deserved to be seen as complete, complex, and successful. 5 different strokes. What you talking about, Willis? Became a catchphrase every black kid could mimic. But Different Strokes offered something more complex than Arnold's comedic timing. The show followed 2 black brothers from Harlem adopted by a wealthy white businessman in Manhattan, creating a unique lens through which to explore race, class, and family. Kids would hurry home to watch Arnold and Willis navigate their new life of privilege while maintaining connections to their roots and their late mother's memory. The show tackled serious issues that other sitcoms avoided: racism, kidnapping, drug abuse, and child molestation in its infamous Very Special episodes. Black kids absorbed these lessons through characters they loved, understanding that danger could come from unexpected places and that talking about hard subjects was necessary. Willis's pride in his black identity, even in predominantly white spaces, taught kids that success didn't require abandoning who you are or where you came from. What resonated deeply was the relationship between Arnold and Willis. 2 brothers navigating a world that often treated them differently because of their race and background. Black families recognized the complexity of maintaining cultural identity while adapting to new circumstances. Mr. Drummond's wealth couldn't shield the boys from racism, a reality black kids understood intimately. The show acknowledged that love and money couldn't erase the challenges of being black in America, but they could provide tools to face those challenges with dignity. 6 Sanford and Son. Fred Sanford's junkyard in Watts, California, became sacred ground for black kids who'd race home to catch this groundbreaking sitcom. Red Fox's portrayal of Fred, a cantankerous, scheming, big-hearted junk dealer, gave black audiences a character who was unapologetically himself. His fake heart attacks, creative insults directed at his son Lamont, and constant money-making schemes provided comedy that felt authentic to black communities where humor was survival and hustle was necessity. The relationship between Fred and Lamont captured a universal black family dynamic: the generational divide between old-school parents and children trying to dream beyond their circumstances. Lamont wanted more than the junkyard could offer, while Fred couldn't understand why honest work salvaging other people's cast-offs wasn't good enough. Black kids watching understood both perspectives, seeing their own father's pride and their own ambitions reflected in this complicated father-son relationship. Fred's friendship with Grady, his verbal sparring matches with Aunt Esther, and his undying love for his late wife Elizabeth added layers of community and history to the show. The junkyard wasn't just a business. It was a gathering place for neighborhood characters, each representing different facets of Black life in urban America. Kids learned that success wasn't always measured by conventional standards and that dignity could be found in any honest work, even if that work involved sorting through other people's discarded belongings. 7. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Saturday mornings belonged to Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, but syndicated reruns made this animated series essential after-school viewing throughout the week. Bill Cosby's creation gave Black kids a cartoon that looked like them and dealt with real issues: peer pressure, education, family struggles, and making ethical choices. Fat Albert's Hey, Hey, Hey greeting welcomed kids into stories that combined humor with genuine life lessons, all while showcasing a diverse group of Black kids from North Philadelphia navigating childhood together. The show's setting in an urban neighborhood, complete with the Brown Hornet superhero segments, gave Black kids heroes and situations that reflected their reality. Russell with his hearing aid, Dumb Donald with his mask, Mush Mouth with his speech pattern. Each character had distinct traits without becoming stereotypes or objects of ridicule. The gang's friendship and loyalty showed Black kids that their crews, their blocks, their neighborhoods were valuable and worth celebrating on screen. What made Fat Albert essential viewing was its commitment to addressing real problems Black kids faced. Episodes dealt with illiteracy, gang violence, teen pregnancy, and economic hardship without talking down to young audiences. The Junkyard Band's performances, created from discarded items, taught resourcefulness and creativity. Black kids absorbed the message that they could create something beautiful from whatever materials their circumstances provided, a metaphor that extended far beyond music. 227. Mary Jenkins and her neighbors in a Washington, D.C. apartment building became extended family for Black viewers who'd rush home to catch their latest adventures. Marla Gibbs' portrayal of Mary, a sharp-witted housewife who saw everything happening in her building, captured the essence of Black women who held communities together through gossip, wisdom, and unflinching honesty. Sandra Pearl Rose and the ever-scheming Lester created a microcosm of Black urban life where everyone knew everyone's business, and community meant looking out for each other. The show celebrated Black women's friendship without competition or cattiness. Mary and Sandra's bond, forged through years of living in the same building and raising kids together, showed Black girls watching that female friendship was sacred and sustaining. Pearl's old-school wisdom and Rose's naive optimism balanced each other, creating a full spectrum of Black womanhood that honored different perspectives and life stages. What resonated most was the show's portrayal of working-class Black life with dignity and humor. These weren't aspirational characters living in brownstones. They were regular people in a regular apartment building dealing with regular problems. Kids saw their own mothers in Mary's determination, their own neighbors in the building's cast of characters. The show validated that Black stories didn't need wealth or exceptional circumstances to matter. Everyday Black life was interesting, funny, and worth watching. 9. A Different World. High school kids especially would sprint home to catch A Different World, the Cosby Show spin-off that followed Denise Huxtable to Hillman College, a fictional HBCU in Virginia. The show became a cultural phenomenon that went far beyond its sitcom origins, introducing mainstream America to historically Black colleges and universities while giving Black students a vision of what college life could look like. Whitley Gilbert's Southern Belle sophistication, Dwayne Wayne's nerdy charm with his trademark flip-up glasses, and the evolving ensemble cast created a world where Black excellence was the norm, not the exception. The show tackled serious issues facing Black college students: colorism, apartheid in South Africa, date rape, HIV/AIDS, and the challenges of maintaining cultural identity in professional spaces. Kids watching absorbed these lessons about activism, social responsibility, and what it meant to be educated and Black in America. The evolution from light-hearted freshman year antics to serious examinations of racial and social justice mirrored the actual growth that happens during college years. What made the show essential viewing was its portrayal of HBCUs as places of intellectual rigor, cultural pride, and community building. For Black kids considering college, Hillman represented possibility. The Pit Stop Diner became as iconic as the campus itself, a gathering place where students debated, flirted, studied, and built lifelong friendships. The show didn't just entertain. It inspired a generation of black students to see college as attainable and HBCUs as institutions worth celebrating. 10. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith's journey from West Philadelphia to Bel-Air became required viewing for every black kid in the 1990s. The theme song alone, which kids could recite word for word, told a story about displacement, opportunity, and navigating between two worlds. Kids would race home to watch Will bring street-smart humor and authenticity to his wealthy relative's mansion, creating comedy from the clash between his working-class black experience and the Banks family's upper-class black reality. The show explored interracial class dynamics that rarely received mainstream attention. Carlton's blackness was constantly questioned because of his preppy clothes, Tom Jones' obsession, and elite education, while Will represented a more stereotypically authentic black experience from the inner city. Black kids watching navigated these same tensions. Accusations of acting white, if they excelled academically or spoke a certain way. The show validated that blackness wasn't monolithic and that both Will and Carlton's experiences were authentically black, just different. Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv, both versions, provided powerful representations of black success and parenting, while Ashley, Hillary, and later Nikki rounded out a black family that was wealthy without apology. The show addressed serious issues, racism, police brutality, gun violence, and abandonment through Will's father's storyline, while maintaining its comedic heart. For black kids watching, The Fresh Prince proved that you could be funny and thoughtful, successful and connected to your roots, sophisticated and still authentically yourself. 11. In Living Color. Older kids and teenagers would rush home to catch In Living Color's groundbreaking sketch comedy that pushed boundaries and celebrated black creativity. The Wayans family created a show that was unapologetically black, unapologetically funny, and unafraid to satirize everything from pop culture to racial stereotypes to politics. The Fly Girls, including a young Jennifer Lopez, provided dance breaks that became cultural moments, while characters like Homie the Clown, Homie Don't Play That, and Fire Marshal Bill entered the lexicon of black humor. The show launched careers for black comedians and actors who struggled to break through in mainstream entertainment. Jim Carrey's zaniness, Jamie Foxx's impressions, David Alan Grier's versatility, and Tommy Davidson's energy created a comedy powerhouse that proved black entertainment could dominate ratings without compromising its cultural specificity. Kids absorbed this lesson about creative ownership. The Wayans family created, produced, and starred in their show, maintaining control over how black stories and humor were presented. What made In Living Color essential viewing was its refusal to play safe. Sketches about racial profiling, colorism within the black community, and black stereotypes used humor as social commentary. Men on Film broke ground in portraying gay black men during the height of the AIDS crisis. The show taught young viewers that comedy could be both hilarious and politically relevant, that laughter and consciousness weren't mutually exclusive. 12. Martin Lawrence's self-titled sitcom became must-see TV for teenagers and young adults who'd planned their afternoons around catching the latest episode. Set in Detroit, the show followed Martin Payne, a radio DJ, and his girlfriend, later wife Gina, along with their tight-knit friend group. Martin's multiple characters, Shanina, Jerome, Edna, Otis, King Beef, showcased his comedic range while creating a universe of memorable personalities that kids would quote endlessly at school the next day. The show captured the essence of black friendship and romantic relationships with authenticity and humor. Martin and Gina's relationship showed a black couple that loved each other deeply while maintaining their individual identities and ambitions. Cole's dim-witted innocence, Tommy's mysterious employment, and Pam's sharp-tongued exchanges with Martin, their insult battles were legendary, created a friend dynamic that felt real to black viewers who understood that roasting your friends was a love language. What made Martin essential viewing was its celebration of working-class black Detroit life without apology. Martin's small apartment, his modest radio show, and his friends' regular jobs created a world that millions of black viewers recognized as their own. The show proved that black sitcoms didn't need wealthy protagonists or exceptional circumstances. Everyday black life, when portrayed with authenticity and love, was compelling enough. Kids watching absorbed lessons about love, friendship, and staying true to yourself even when success comes calling. 13. Living Single. Before Sex and the City, there was Living Single, a groundbreaking sitcom about 4 black professional women sharing a Brooklyn brownstone. Teenage girls especially would race home to watch Khadijah, Sinclair, Regine, and Maxine navigate careers, relationships, and friendship with humor and authenticity. Queen Latifah's portrayal of Khadijah James, a magazine publisher, showed black girls that they could be bosses, entrepreneurs, and leaders while maintaining their femininity and cultural identity. The show celebrated different types of black womanhood without pitting women against each other. Khadijah's ambition, Sinclair's optimism, Regine's glamour, and Maxine's sharp legal mind created a spectrum of black female experience that honored each woman's choices and personality. Their male neighbors, Kyle and Overton, provided male perspectives without dominating the narrative, showing that women's stories could carry a show without romantic relationships being the primary focus. What resonated deeply was the show's portrayal of black professional friendship and chosen family. These women supported each other through career setbacks, romantic disappointments, and personal growth. Black girls watching saw representations of success that looked like them: natural hair curves, dark skin, professional ambitions, all portrayed as beautiful and desirable. The show taught that black women could have it all: careers, friendships, romance, and cultural pride, without sacrificing any part of themselves to fit mainstream standards. 14. Moesha. Brandy Norwood's portrayal of Moesha Mitchell gave black teenagers a character who looked like them, talked like them, and dealt with their exact problems. Set in Los Angeles, the show followed Moesha through high school and early college, tackling issues that were rarely addressed on network television: teen pregnancy among friends, gang violence, dating violence, and the challenges of blended families. Kids would rush home to watch Moesha navigate these challenges while maintaining her grades, her friendships, and her dreams. The show's portrayal of a middle-class black family in the Leimert Park neighborhood showed black teens that success came in many forms. Moesha's father, Frank, a car dealership owner, represented black entrepreneurship and traditional parenting, while her stepmother, Dee, offered a different perspective on family dynamics. The tension between Moesha and Dee felt authentic to kids dealing with blended families, divorce, and learning to accept new parental figures. What made Moesha essential viewing was its commitment to showing black teenage life without sugarcoating the challenges. Moesha's friends dealt with real consequences for their choices. Relationships were complex and sometimes unhealthy, and not every episode ended with easy resolutions. Black teenagers saw their own struggles validated: the pressure to fit in, the challenge of maintaining friendships, the complexity of first love. The show trusted its young audience to handle serious topics while providing entertainment and relatability. 15. Sister, Sister. Tia and Tamara Mowry's portrayal of twin sisters, separated at birth and reunited as teenagers, became instant comfort viewing for black kids throughout the 1990s. The premise: twins raised in different economic circumstances, finding each other and navigating sisterhood, created endless opportunities for humor and heart. Kids would rush home to watch Tia, the studious twin raised by a single mother, and Tamara, the free-spirited twin raised by an adoptive father, learn to be sisters while dealing with typical teenage problems. The show celebrated black adoptive families through Ray Campbell, Tamara's adoptive father, who loved her without qualification. This representation mattered in black communities where adoption and foster care often carried stigma. The twins' biological mother, Lisa, and Ray's eventual romance created a blended family that felt authentic and loving. Kids watching saw that families came in many configurations and that love, not biology alone, defined family bonds. What resonated most was the genuine relationship between the twins. Their loyalty, occasional jealousy, constant support, and deep love for each other modeled healthy sibling relationships. Black girls especially connected with Tia and Tamara's friendship, their fashion, their relationship dramas, and their navigation of high school social dynamics. The show provided representation without heavy-handed lessons, proving that black teenage girls' everyday lives were interesting enough to carry a successful sitcom. 16. The Wayans Brothers. Sean and Marlon Wayans brought their real-life brotherhood to the small screen in a sitcom about two brothers running a newsstand in Harlem while pursuing their dreams. Kids would race home to watch their schemes, their tight bond, and their interactions with Pops, John Witherspoon's scene-stealing performance, at the family diner. The show captured the essence of black brotherhood. Constant roasting mixed with unwavering loyalty. Big dreams combined with humble circumstances. The Harlem setting mattered. While many black sitcoms had moved to generic urban or suburban settings, the Wayans brothers specifically claimed Harlem as its home, honoring the neighborhood's cultural significance to black America. The newsstand became a community gathering place where neighborhood characters would stop by, creating a sense of place and belonging that resonated with black viewers who understood that black neighborhoods had their own ecology of relationships and rituals. What made the show essential viewing was its celebration of brotherly love and working-class hustle. Sean and Marlon didn't have much, but they had each other, their dreams, and their determination to make something of themselves. Kids watching absorbed lessons about family loyalty, entrepreneurship, and maintaining your sense of humor even when circumstances are challenging. Pop's one-liners and wisdom provided an older generation's perspective that grounded the brothers' youthful energy. 17. Family Matters. Steve Urkel might have stolen the show, but Family Matters offered so much more than its breakout nerd character. The Winslow family, Carl and Harriet, their three kids, Harriet's sister Rachel and Mother Winslow, represented a multi-generational black middle-class family living in Chicago. Kids would rush home to watch the latest Urkel mishap while absorbing quieter lessons about family, community policing, through Carl's work as a police officer, and the strength of black family bonds across generations. The show evolved from a traditional family sitcom to a vehicle for Jaleel White's brilliant physical comedy as Urkel. But it never lost sight of the Winslow family's importance. Carl struggles to balance community policing with his own family, Harriet's management of both her elevator repair job and her household, and the kids' typical growing pains created storylines that felt authentic to black middle-class experience. Mother Winslow's old-school wisdom provided connection to black traditions and values. What resonated deeply was the show's portrayal of patience, acceptance, and community responsibility. Despite Urkel's constant disasters, the Winslows never abandoned him. They understood that he was a kid who needed guidance and belonging. This reflected black community values about looking after neighborhood children and taking responsibility for young people beyond your own biological kids. Black families watching recognized this communal approach to child-rearing as their own. 18. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Mark Curry's portrayal of Mark Cooper, a former NBA player turned substitute teacher, gave kids a show that celebrated education, friendship, and finding purpose after your dreams change direction. Set in Oakland, California, the show followed Mark and his roommates' later evolving cast dynamics as they navigated adulthood, relationships, and responsibility. Kids would rush home to watch Mark's misadventures while absorbing subtle messages about the importance of education and giving back to your community. The show's school setting mattered significantly. Mark's transition from athlete to teacher demonstrated that black men could find fulfillment and purpose in education, countering stereotypes that limited black male professional options to sports and entertainment. His interactions with students, particularly the basketball team he coached, showed positive black male mentorship. Kids watching saw a black man who was funny, caring, and committed to uplifting the next generation. What made the show essential viewing was its celebration of black Oakland culture and community. The show didn't shy away from showing the challenges urban students faced while maintaining optimism about their potential. Mark's friendship with Vanessa, later romantic interest, and his various roommates created a chosen family dynamic that reflected how young black adults often lived, sharing resources, supporting each other's dreams, and building community beyond biological family. 19. The PJs. Eddie Murphy's stop-motion animated sitcom about Thurgood Stubbs, a superintendent in a Chicago housing project, pushed boundaries in ways live-action shows couldn't. Older kids would rush home to catch this edgier animated series that dealt with urban poverty, drugs, violence, and systemic neglect through dark humor and social commentary. The claymation style allowed the show to address serious issues while maintaining enough distance that the humor didn't feel exploitative. The show portrayed public housing with complexity, acknowledging the challenges while honoring the community, resilience, and humanity of residents who called the projects home. Characters like Thurgood's wife Muriel, the crack-addicted Smokey, and the various residents of the Hilton Jacobs projects created a full ecosystem of urban life. Kids watching absorbed critiques of slumlords, government neglect, and systemic racism wrapped in entertainment. What made the PJs controversial but essential viewing was its refusal to sanitize poverty or pretend that systemic problems had easy solutions. Thurgood's attempts to improve conditions, often futile against bureaucratic indifference and limited resources, reflected real frustrations in Black communities. The show trusted its audience to handle complex social commentary through humor, teaching that laughter and criticism could coexist in addressing serious social issues. 20. My Wife and Kids. Damon Wayans' portrayal of Michael Kyle brought Black fatherhood to the center of family sitcom television. Kids would rush home to watch Michael's creative, often questionable parenting techniques, his loving relationship with wife Jay, and his interactions with their 3 kids. The show arrived at a time when Black fathers were often absent from media narratives, making Michael's hands-on, engaged, sometimes overbearing parenting style a powerful counter-narrative. The Kyle family lived comfortably in suburban Connecticut, showing Black families in spaces that television often reserved for white families. Michael's success as a business owner, Jay's beauty and intelligence, and the kids' various personalities created a full portrait of upper-middle-class Black family life. The show addressed typical family sitcom issues, teenage dating, sibling rivalry, work-life balance, while occasionally tackling specifically Black experiences like code switching and navigating predominantly white spaces. What resonated most was Michael's unapologetic approach to parenting. He was present, involved, affectionate, and sometimes ridiculous in his attempts to guide his kids. Black children watching saw a Black father who loved his wife openly, disciplined his kids consistently, and provided for his family successfully. The show validated that Black fathers could be funny, caring, and central to family life, countering harmful stereotypes about Black family structure and Black men's commitment to fatherhood. These 20 shows represent more than entertainment. They were cultural lifelines during an era when Black representation on television was limited and often stereotypical. Kids would race home not just to be entertained, but to see themselves reflected with dignity, complexity, and humor. These shows taught lessons about family, community, resilience, and pride while providing comfort in knowing that Black stories mattered enough to occupy network airtime. For Black kids growing up during these decades, these shows weren't just appointments on the TV schedule. They were confirmations that their lives, their laughter, and their experiences deserved to be seen.